Okay, greetings from 大家好，就是欢迎光临在Pattaya, Zaihanua. So I'm in Pattaya, lovely Pattaya. Much better, much cheaper than Bangkok for sure. So this is for the great Eric Kong, man. What a great student, bright future. England bright future, right? So this is for his benefit, and he doesn't even need to rewatch these because he adapts and learns so very quickly. So let me share this and then wait for Mr. Eric. Let me download his essay so we can review that first. Yeah, this was the academic one that I sent him because I do think maybe one day he'll have an opportunity. I know he'll have an opportunity, whether he wants to or not, to go to any university in the world, really, Eric. So just waiting on him. So again, it is March 18th, 2023. So waiting on Mr. Kong. Did I download? Why did I download? Why does it have one again? I don't know. Great, good, cool. Yep, great, being treated equally. Good, all right. Yeah, the title page, he can read this, or the title, he can read this. Sometimes at university, it will be a whole page until itself. I'll explain that to Eric when he comes in. I love it. He always tells me is his week. He gives me the updates. That's great. That's great. Hello.
Hello, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, brother. How you doing? How are you?
Yeah, I was doing really good. And
Yeah.
yeah, there is one thing that really special happened this
Mm.
week that um this week at Saturday afternoon just after our class and then I went back to school, but I didn't feel right because of a fever and then went like returned home and stayed at home for 4 days and till the day before yesterday I returned to school, so that was a special experience. I got
Yeah,
the
for
It's
sure.
just like an epidemic in a certain area in our city and more often in our a little bit district because a lot of people had that epidemic.
Had the virus, right? Dangun, right? But yeah, I understand, man. But you're
Yes.
healthy, right? You stay healthy. You don't. I mean, obviously, 不抽烟.
Yeah, yeah, I have gotten better.
Yes. So that's all that matters, right? And do you eat vitamins or vitamins? Is Ingwa Leida Hui, right? Vitamins. Do you take vitamins?
Um, No, I haven't because sometimes I really take it, but when you're having the virus, meaning you're having the fever, I went to see the doctor. The doctor told me eating the vitamin at this time is useless because it cannot cure some illness like this,
Right.
and he told me to drink something and
Right.
that is
Right. Right.
like
No, no. I
really
mean,
sour.
yeah, when you're not sick though, especially when you're younger, like I tell my son, there's supplements, right? So it supplements what you don't eat in your diet. Of course, you should eat vegetables, you should eat everything within reason. As I'm getting older, I don't eat much beef anymore. I find like beef is really, it sticks with me. I try to understand my own body. And also bread, I don't eat much bread. I try to eat more vegetables, more fruits, and then I try to take a vitamin as I get older. So just something for you and your parents. You can always buy vitamins everywhere. Get like maybe like a multivitamin. You don't have to take it every day, but maybe every other day, right? To help keep your health, right? Maintain
Yes.
your health. And you exercise, so it's okay. we'll always, the flu, cold, we'll always have this around the world. So it's just a matter of trying to stay healthy and beating it, right? To beat it off, to beat it off. So, all right, brother. So that's good. How's school going?
Mm. So school was going as usual, and next Tuesday we'll go to get out of our city and head to a city called Huai'an, but it's next to our city,
Okay,
and go to a tourist attraction called the Zhouwenlai Xinianguan.
cool.
So there, our teacher said we can play, but mostly we'll learn. It's like a really big history class.
Yeah, no, field trips, right? We say that, well, 美国来的就是我会, right? We'll say
Yeah.
field trips, right? When you go out and you experience other things. I remember those fondly because I'm more of a practical learner, more of a visual and kinetic, right? So I need to touch something, I need to see it to learn it. So I remember going on those trips, which were pretty fun when I was younger, right? So I think I learned more when I was doing that. So, all right, brother, let's hop right to the essay. Yeah, I forgot I had given you this. So this, again, this is more of an academic, right? This is what you'll get maybe when you get into high school, right? Especially if you go to a Sino international, right? An international high school in China, that you'll get these type of papers, right? Most likely. So I was just saying on the video, because I record it and I send it to you, that some papers, maybe not a one-page paper, but like a teacher may give you the question, right? And depends how lazy they are or how they go about doing it. They might just even write it on the board and say, take a screenshot if you have your phone, or write it in your notebook, or write it whatever. Or they'll give you the piece of paper with the question. So then you'll just need to do
Yes.
a title page, right? Which is a little bit different. And if we continue, working together on your writing, I'd like you to be able to do maybe a very good 3-page paper, right? To prepare you for high school. And if you go to a native English speaking or any university, even, Beijing Normal, Shanghai will do English, probably papers, so. Okay, great. Let's do it. And then, of course, everything's subjective. Your teacher may have you write March 23rd, or something, 2023, so it doesn't matter, right? It's all subjective. So
Yes.
I was taught to drop it down, which Word doesn't format to make it look like that. So again, your parents, you printed out that book, right? About grammar rules.
Yes.
Yes, so try to always refer to that online or the paper format. That will help you tremendously, because rules always change. But you'll probably at university get an old lao lao sure like me, Eric. So, I'll remember what I learned, but it might not be in the new book, right? So it's a subjective language. And even science can be subjective, right? Maybe not so much math.
Yes.
That's the only one. All right. So Mr. Kong, in recent news, the Taliban has reverted to disallowing, right, girls to be educated past a certain age. The Taliban contend, argue, or believe that this is their version of God or Allah's will. I really didn't need that comma, right? Less is more, or message. I didn't need that one either. Eric, why'd you let me put those 2 commas in there? All right. However, many disagree in believing that all we humans should be equally treated with the same rights. Correct. So in your opinion, what side do you agree with and why? Please draft a 1-page paper. So what are some of the questions that you need to think about when you're reading this, after you've read this, and then before you're writing? What are some of the topics that you need to think about?
Mhm. The first one is about mm, Yeah, so it's just related to the question, that is asking you what side do you agree with and why. You have to say say the first side what it is and the opposite side and say what it is, and then say your own opinion in the last paragraph and reasons.
Yeah, no, that's great, right? It's we know it, right? It's compare contrast. But what are some of the larger topics, right? So
Larger topics is
uh,
about people's rights or everyone being equal as they have the rights to got the same rights or titles.
correct. So we can say human rights and in particular education, right? So that would be one.
Yes.
Let me, so sorry. Come on, man, Cliff. Yo. Okay, what would be another larger, like, so human rights is one. Do you have the right to education? Do you have the right to do something? What would you think would be some other larger topics, Eric?
Mm, I think it could be um about wars or about peace.
Yeah, but we know that the Taliban now, what are the Taliban? What are they now? What are they in terms of Afghanistan, Pakistan, or their region? What would you call them now?
Mm. I'm not sure about this one because the Malala book is old. At that time,
Right.
the condition is definitely different from now. So,
Yes.
now the Afghanistan Taliban have seized power in the country, but the Pakistan Taliban still hasn't.
That's great. I always say the lowest common denominator, right, for main topics. Again, this is how my brain works. So I'm just trying to help you for an essay, for a timed essay or on your IELTS, to think of the big topics so that where you can then write and move down, right? So my brain always works like a pyramid. So I would say currently the Taliban is the controlling party, or to make it even better, right, is the government, right? Because they are controlling the people and what happens with the people, right? So they are in
Yes.
charge. They are the government. So human rights, in particular, education, government, and then what would be the third one? What would you think the big message is?
Mm,
Right. So when like here, right, when you're when you read this in a teacher's question, what would you think this is?
mm.
Right.
It's about the Taliban thoughts.
Well, yeah, but what is Buddhism? What is Christianity? What is Judaism? What is Islam? It's religion,
Um,
right?
yeah, religion.
Yeah. So I would say, in all these three classes you may take, they may be coursework at a university, right? You may take a humans rights class, you may take a governance class, you might take a religion class. There are people who get their doctors, right, in religion. So these three, I think, maybe are the biggest, right? The biggest, hold on, like the biggest messages or the biggest topics, right, within this question. So saying that,
Yes.
let's jump to uh your title. I always try to put it in the middle, so like you see where the arrow is. So I would always make
Yes.
sure that it's in the middle, right? It needs to stand out. You need to, again, grab the reader's attention with a very clever title. And again, I don't, I haven't read that guideline book, if it's the new 2023 version of the English language and how best the grammar rules, but titles would always be capitalized, right? Every word except maybe three
Yeah.
letters or under. So maybe for, by, two prepositions are not, right? But being treated equally. I think that's good. I think that's catchy, Eric, right? Being treated equally. Good, good. So that sets the tone. I can infer like where from knowing the question, right? As a teacher or as a reader, I then kind of know where you're going to lead me, right? With your writing. So good. All right. So recently the Afghanistan Taliban again seized its power. Is this almost, do you think this is almost redundant? Because to say again and it's, right, to use the possessive it's. So I would almost say I would get rid of, because again seized power, because meaning they had already had it, so you don't need it's, right? So in English literature that would be a redundant word, right, to say they had power and then it's power again. So again, less is more, right? So I would say recently it's kind of it's a kind of a bizarre word to start off.
Yeah, sorry, I can't
Yeah.
hear really clearly.
That's okay. Hold on. So recently the Afghanistan Taliban again seized power. And again, that's redundant if you're using recently. So you don't even need again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not that keen, right? Again, Eric, right? That first sentence, boom, man, that's gotta be, you really need to take time, right? That whole first introductory paragraph, but especially the hypothetical or the catch sentence, you really need to hold the reader's attention.
Yeah.
Right. So hold on. Recently the Afghanistan Taliban seized power and banned girls to be educated past 13 years old. So taking time now, how would you rephrase this to really grab the reader's attention?
Um, I would say,
Well, I would definitely get rid of recently. Um, so now how would you rephrase this to really catch the reader's attention and to set up the rest of your essay?
maybe I will shift the
I don't know. It's good to start. I mean, it's okay to start off with the.
are not
Yeah,
able to get education as Afghanistan Taliban seized power.
right. Yeah. I would say the Afghanistan Taliban has again seized power and has banned girls education, right? And that would be possessive education past 13 years of age or 13 years old, 13 years of age. I don't know. That's one and the same. And I do the double tap. So the Afghanistan Taliban has again seized power and has banned girls' education past 13 and then years of age. I'm big on doing this. It's debatable. Again, why do we use hyphens on words? Do you know why?
Yeah, you've mentioned the main reason is because most people just read it together, and if they were separated, they don't have a whole meaning. While they get mixed together, they're seen as a whole one.
Yes, right. They're more of a whole phrase or meaning, but it's also how you translate reading into your brain and then speak it. So it'd be you speak this more quickly than three words that are not hyphenated, right? So if I'm talking
Yeah,
to you, I would say the Afghanistan Taliban has again seized power and has banned girls' education past 13 years of age, right? So I would say that faster. So hence the hyphenation, right? Again, that's debatable. Some teachers, right? Some professors will say do it, others not. It's up to you, right? Okay, so the
Yes.
Taliban, however, yeah, I remember you wrote this very oh, okay, sorry, Eric. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I think I'm at a new hotel again, so I don't know if the hearing, but yeah, yeah, I had the
Yeah, I can hear you throughout, but yeah, so sometimes the internet is not very good.
okay, okay. Yeah, it's going in and out. I think it's all right. I think it's all right. Okay, so yeah, I remember you wrote this really quickly, right? Last week, right, when you were home. So again, I'm just trying, especially for these academic papers, again, I'm always professing, always telling you, always coaching you to take your time. You can draft it quickly, but then put it away in any language, right? Chinese in any language, put it away and then come back and then edit it, review it together. If you have like your parents' English is great, so you could always have them read it to see what they think. I mean, this is the internet's fabulous, right? I mean, both my mother was an educator too, right? A master's in education. So I didn't have the luxury. I'm so old, right? We didn't have the internet. We were just growing up with the internet at university. So now you could be anywhere in the world, right? And send this to your parents and say, what do you think? You know, do you mind having
Yes.
a read at my paper, right? So um yeah, so I would say in English literature, I would say this is rather choppy, right? Chung 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 kai 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 kai. So it's rather choppy with the commas and however in the middle. So how would you rephrase this or rewrite
Mhm.
this sentence?
Yeah, maybe just get rid of the however and the two commas,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
or put it in the front of the sentence. These are two solutions.
Yeah. All right. Well, we know, I'm not going to keep reading it. It's rather long, that question. So the Afghanistan Taliban has again seized power and has banned girls education past 13 years of age. Okay, that's all right. It's not the best. Since we've already stated Taliban, what's another pronoun so that we don't sound redundant?
Um,
Zaihanyu ta, right? Ta menu, right? So they, I would say maybe they,
yeah, right.
right? And then you could say argue, contend, believe, right? There's many words. Yeah, argue is good. That's fine. So they argue that they are obeying Allah's will. Good. Perfect, right? Why? Because you're reiterating the question up here. So that's good. A teacher loves that when you focus or you concentrate on what the teacher has given you and you rephrase that in your writing, they're like, oh, he understands, right? Or she gets it. She
Yes.
understands. Yeah. All right. So they argue that they are obeying Allah's will. Good. Um, many parts of speech of many. What is a part of speech? Many. What is that? I'm not a grammatist, right? I'm a literalist here. So sorry, part of speech. Many is a what is that? Is that many? Yeah, part of speech. What part of speech? Something else though. It's an adjective for sure. Many. I don't know if I'd yeah, personally I would not start a sentence with many people either. So many people suggest that we humans should be treated equally because all people's rights should be the same. Yeah, how would you rephrase again? Like I really want to focus on the introduction paragraph with you, right? Because once you get that, then all the writing becomes easier, right, for you and for everything. How would you rephrase this sentence, Eric? right? You're doing the yin yang, right? Which is great. Compare, contrast. So now how do you
Yes.
contrast to Allah's will? Or their interpretation, right, of Allah's will? Here, think about it, Eric. I got to turn on the air condition, man. It's so hot in here. Think about it for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Man, does it get hot here quickly. Whee! All right. All right. Yo, my God. Woo! All right. Here, hold on. I'm just gonna turn on this light and close that door or close that window. My God. Woo! It's not even 10 o'clock here. It's so hot. All right. So what do you think, Mr. Kong, to change this sentence?
Mm. Yeah, so I think in order to form a contrast to the Alice will, I will say many people suggest that we
Well,
humans
let's try to get
should be treated equally.
yeah, let's try to get rid of many. So let's just not use many. So now rephrase this. How would you rephrase the comparison?
People suggest that we and get rid of humans. It's redundant. We should be all equal despite the Allah's
Well, let me take a break here. I think I've given you that, right? Right, and this is very good for academic essays for sure. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little bit slow, but hold on. Oh, and it's in Thai right now too. That's not good. Change to English, please. I don't read Thai, so unfortunately, I like to read every language, but I do not. All right, so Google Images. Hold on, Eric. Okay, let's do compare and contrast words, starting sentence words, I guess. Right, so conversely, oppositely, in comparison to, right? These are all how you would start a sentence for compare and contrast, right? For those type of essays. Yes, compare and contrast words. Yes. Yes, there's a bunch. Let me pull this one. Firstly, second, yes, good, Eric. I think maybe I had sent you this. Okay, there's one. Come on, man. No. Yes. Sentence starters related. Words to be contrast. Yes, this is pretty good. This is another good one, Eric. Okay. All right, bear with me. So I think so. This one, for example, let me make this. I'll send it to you in Waycine, right? You can barely see it now, but I think when I send it in Waycine, you can download it. So words that words for an added idea. Furthermore, in addition to, that add on to a thought, right? But for compare and contrast, so here you go, words that show contrast. So these are the better ways to start the contrast in your